Hi there, my name's Moira MacDonald. Hopefully you know that and you've maybe watched one of my videos before. This is just a wee quickie to give some instructions on using a big shot. I dare say it's one of these things that an awful lot of folk will probably have got for Christmas. So I was going to run you through some of the basics for it, because there's an awful lot about it that you think, oh no, I've broke it, and you haven't. It's just, that's the way it works. So we'll run it through first of all and I'll explain to you. Mine's is a good age, right? I'll openly admit this. This is a big shot that I bought probably at least 15 or 16 years ago, and I'm not joking, I've had it that long. The day I got it, I bought one die that I got. In fact, I don't even think I got it. I don't think I bought the die the day I got the big shot, but I bought a die from a craft shop that used to be here in Hamilton, Scotland, where I live. In fact, it was in Blantyre, but she shut down because, needless to say, craft is a dying business in Britain, and as a result, there are no craft shops anywhere near me. So anyway, while she was open, in her heyday, she had a lot of Cuttlebug dies and Spellbinders dies, but she didn't have anything by Sizzix, and I thought you only could use Sizzix with Sizzix dies. And she said, oh no, you can use anything, just if you read the instructions on your platform. Now your platform, I've got the extended platform, so chances are if you've bought this you'll have one that's about half the size, but it's got pretty much the same information. And what it explains to you, mine's got a wee wrinkle in it because it's so well used already. This isn't all that old, this is actually less than a year old, this. Effectively, if you look at the pictures, they explain how you cut stuff. So how it explains to cut is you use your platform closed like this, because there's two tabs with it, and by two tabs I mean 1 and 2. So effectively your average run-of-the-mill thin steel die you would use with everything closed, and what you would do is you would put it in your machine, put in your now it tells you to use your die facing up, but I don't do that, right? So your choice is do what I do or do what it tells you to do. Personally, I've always preferred doing it the other way, simply on the basis that I can see clearer where I'm cutting things. So anyway, you put in one of your plastic or your acrylic plates, because you'll have a set of two of these, and they'll look lovely. In fact, I'll show you. Well, I won't because I'm not opening them out, but I go through so many that I buy spares. So these are your cutting pads, which are acrylic. They're not overly expensive, and as you see on the back, it fits all the different types of things that they do. The Vagabond, which is just effectively a big shot that folds up and looks like a wee suitcase. The Big Shot Plus, I've also got that. It's a great big one, which takes A4 size paper, or bigger than letter if you're American. And Big Shot Pro, I think, might be electric. Big Shot Foldaway works in the same sort of concept as the Vagabond. It closes up so that it looks neater. I don't know what the Big Kick is, or the Superstar. They're marketing ploys effectively, because to be fair, you need one. You don't even need anything as big as a Big Shot, because you can get little itty bitty ones these days. It depends on the size of die. Obviously if your die is sizable, then you're going to need a Big Shot. If your die is even bigger than the Big Shot, then you need the Big Shot Plus. I do have some pretty big dies, hence why I bought the Big Shot Plus, but I've never actually used it yet, because you know, that way you're keeping it for good. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. I bought a bulk bought a number of cutting plates simply because they end up in the world's worst state. Let me show you what my cutting plate looks like. That looks pretty grim, but what can you do? That's what happens. I didn't understand this when I first bought the Big Shot, and the first couple of times I ran something through and it made marks on these plastic acrylic plates, I thought, oh no, I've broken it, I've ruined it, what have I done? But effectively no, this is how it ends up. And there's not a lot you can do about it. It just happens, and they wear out, but you can use them obviously for a really long time, I do, or I have done, a lot of die cutting in the past, and that's why that's in such a horrific state. I try whenever possible to keep one okay by using it in the bottom, but occasionally I mix up and I'll stick it in the wrong side and I'll cut by accident, so they'll both end up marked. But effectively with buying spares, what I do is, when I decide that this is really beyond use, I'll throw that out, I'll keep the original, and then I'll bring out one of the other ones and just work it like that, because again, I'll try to always use that as the side that gets cut onto. Right, now, it's just occurred to me I don't have a die. Give me a wee second because I've got one lying out. Never particularly well prepared, am I? Right, this is a tattered lace die. Tattered Lace is British. She started off, the girl that runs Tattered Lace, her name's Stephanie Whiteman, or Stephanie Waitman. She started, you might have seen her actually if you watch Create and Craft in America, or North America, should I say, because I think it runs in Canada as well. All her dies are exceptionally intricate, and consequently, they don't cut great. And I, to be fair, I don't really like them an awful lot. But there were times when these were the only kind of dies I could get, which is why I hate shopping channels so much, because effectively Create and Craft, the shopping channel, I think has done more damage to the crafting world than benefit, because it's left us in this situation where everybody's buying from the TV, nobody's buying from independent shops at all. The shops that were in existence were buying in the things that they were seeing on the TV. So effectively the market was getting flooded with stuff from Crafter's Companion and Tattered Lace, and it just makes it, or made it, very, very difficult to get other things, and I still find it quite difficult to get other stuff. So I buy any craft stuff I get, I buy online, and I quite often buy a lot of things either second hand from eBay, or with reluctance I'll buy on Amazon. I don't really like Amazon because I don't like the way it's set up when it comes to, you know, telling you how much you're paying for postage and stuff like that. But sometimes, again, Amazon will be the ones that will bring you things from American marketplaces. So, you know, your options are limited. Obviously, there are other websites within Britain that I'll use, but it's a searching game when you're looking for things. So anyway, that's a gripe. That's not what I'm here to show you today. Right, so effectively what I want to do is I want to show you how to cut this. This is quite intricate, and as a result, you'll probably find that when you try to run it through your Big Shot, you might not get a brilliant cut first go. So there are ways you can resolve that. So like I said, what I like to do is I like to put it down facing up and put my card on my paper on top of it. Now I've got some wee bits of card and paper lying here. I've got some, let me see, I've got some kind of metallic sheen silver card. We'll try cutting it with that. So effectively what you do is you put your card then on top of what you're cutting. Now it's going to dig into this side because the actual wee, if you look at it, right, that side's cutting nothing. That side's flat as a pancake with wee holes in it. That side has little ridges that will dig in, because as it runs through the Big Shot, pressure is put on it like a mangle. Do you know what a mangle is, or is that a British word? It's effectively a roller system which will weigh it down and press the metal into the card or paper that you're using, and as a result that will cut it. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put that with the side that we want to look good, which will be the silvery side, facing down towards that. I'm going to put the bit it's going to dig into on my top plate here, and I'm going to run it through. Wait a minute, I'll try and straighten that up a wee bit. We'll run it through the Big Shot. Now I know the lighting isn't great, but it's very, very dull here today, and if I could put the light off, but I can't guarantee that you're going to see anything. Now I'm going to run it through a second time in the hope that that'll have given it enough to cut into this card, but I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. That doesn't look too bad actually. Right, so we're taking that plate off. and we'll pick it up, and it's cut out that, but it's stuck in this. Now, I want to try and keep all these wee bits and bobs in the right place. What I use is something called the Tool-in-One, and it's by Spellbinders. And it's got a wee kind of funny brushy thing at that end and a wee pokey tool at that end. And what I do is make a terrible mess of my desk, running over the back like this, and it's going to push out. I'll need to vacuum my desk when I'm done. It will push out some of the holes, and not all of them. Then we'll run it over this side, and it'll get most of the wee bits and bobs out. Now we've got to dislodge this from the die, and a couple of the wee points will be, there's wee holes in the back that you put your wee pokey tool in, and it should dislodge your die, and there you go. So there's my wee butterfly, That's that cut. That's if you're lucky, that's how it works first time, right? Now, it doesn't always work first time. Sometimes you have difficulties. Alright, I'm going to move that down there, and I'll vacuum all this up later on. I don't usually spread it onto my desk, but I'm making a video, so I don't have time to run through the kitchen and go into the bin the way I normally do. Right, sometimes you have difficulty doing this, and it doesn't cut first time. So, what if you suspect that you have a die that causes problems, what you can use is a dryer sheet. Now, in this country, they are called Lenores. That's the name, you know, softness is a thing called Lenore. No, softness was a thing called comfort. Right, it's a Lenore drying sheet. I dare say you'll get them in America. I know you get them in America because I know that I've seen other people using these in videos. This is, you don't use it fresh. There is no need to use one that you haven't used. If you've got a tumble dryer, if you've not got a tumble dryer, then obviously you're not going to have these, in which case scrap this piece of the video. If you do have a tumble dryer and you use these are invaluable. Hold on to them once you've finished doing your tumble drying, because they really are invaluable when it comes to cutting into things. They effectively act as a shim, providing a little bit extra by way of, how can I put it? It just makes things a bit thicker. In order that when the pressure goes on this, there's a much greater chance of it really cutting into it. So you put your dryer sheet down, your die, then your card you're cutting, then your top acrylic plate, and you run it through. Now, I've run it through once, so bear with me because I've got to move things about because I've not got enough room in my desk here. Let's see. Now this time I've run it through once. I didn't take the chance and run it through again and again and again, but it has cut because we did have extra pressure on it as a result of this wee cloth. So we'll move that wee cloth out of the way because I want to save that obviously for any other cuttings I've got to do, and I can go through the business again with the Tool-in-One. Now, as well as a Spellbinders tool, because I'm not getting money for this, right? I'm not advertising these in any way, it's just happens to be what I use, but this is what it's sold for. There is a Sizzix one, and I originally bought it. Sizzix one comes also with a kind of sponge thing that's quite useful for, you know, you put it on top of your sponge and you run over it, and it effectively gets all the wee bits stuck to it, so you don't have them spread all over your desk the way I'm doing them now. So I quite like that, but the problem is the one I got was duff. There was something wrong with it and it broke. The sponge was really quite good, but I can't find it and I don't know where I put it. I know it'll be in a drawer because there's absolutely no way I've thrown it out. You know how crafters just don't throw anything out. Right, so that should be pretty much us again. Oh, sorry. Yep, there we go. So there's another wee die cut, and that's the way that goes. Now, clear this again. There is another way. If you don't have a tumble dryer and you think, well, I can't do that, there's something else you can buy. Cut out wax paper. This is one of these things that came from America via Amazon because it was the only way I could get it. And obviously it's meant to be, I think, for some sort of cooking, but it's also invaluable for this. So we'll tear a little bit off, and don't need all that, only need a wee bit. What this can do for you is it can make your die, sorry I'm not holding it right, this can make your die move much more smoothly across your paper and cut it much easier, in theory. So you put this next to your die. I've run out of that silver stuff, so we're going to have to use a piece of white card. Right, so we've got a piece of white card, and oops, wait a minute, I've got one of those wee things stuck in it and I want that out. So we'll use a wee pokey end. Can you see me here? There we go. Right, so put my die down, put my bit of wax paper on top of my die. So it's a wee bit different from doing it with a dryer sheet. Then take a piece of card, put it on top plate, and run it through. I'm going to run it back just to hopefully make sure. Now let's see if this worked okay. Right, it's looking okay so far. Right, well, it's fallen out of that, great. So there's my piece of wax paper, there's my card. Here's my die with my wee thing stuck in it. Now, what you've got to remember is you've used that wax paper, so that wax paper is going to be stuck to that die as well, the die cut. Because when you get it out of this, you'll have cut the waxed paper. It'll have dug in to the card you're cutting, or the paper you're cutting, depending on what it is, and it'll be stuck. So that looks like it's got a film on it, but we can peel that off. We just need to very carefully peel it like that, and that gets rid of that. Now we've got, sorry I keep hitting the stand for the camera, got some of these wee things that we need to poke through in this because they're not all popped out just yet. And that's it. So that's that die cut again without any difficulty. And the theory is that now that that's been run through with the waxed paper, it should cut a little bit easier the next time I use it, because there will be a degree of residue of wax on this. Not enough to mark anything, but enough to make it a smoother cut, if you like. Now, what you can also do with your Big Shot is you can emboss. To emboss, you'll need to move these tabs 1 and 2. In this case I'm going to use them both. I'm going to move them both over, and you'll notice, if you look, well, you can't see it here because of the way the light's hitting this, but there's a wee drawing on this side that will tell you, explain to you how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, put my plate down, and I'm wanting to try and emboss that on something. So I'm going to get a bit of card, and I'm going to put it on my card, and then I'm going to use what is, if I can find them, I know I brought them out the drawer, but I don't know where I put them. Wait a minute. Here they are. Right, I'm pretty sure Sizzix that makes the Big Shot does these, I don't know what they're called, I think they're just called embossing mats. These are from Spellbinders. They're quite old because I bought these in the shop that I bought the original very first die from. And what you do is, there's two of them, right? In this case I need two. I think when you get a Sizzix one, if you bought a Sizzix one, you would probably only need one. I think Spellbinders are a bit like tattered lace when it comes to dies. From my experience, I don't particularly like Spellbinders because I find they're very intricate and sometimes can be a bit iffy when it comes to cutting. And I really do like an easy life when it comes to crafting. You know, I genuinely don't want to make things difficult for myself. Anyway, so we've opened up the two tabs on this and we're going to emboss our butterfly, which is lying face up with a piece of card on it. And you would think that it would cut, but it won't. What we're going to do is we're going to put these on top of it before we add our next plate, and then we are going to run it through. Give me just a wee minute. Hopefully this will come out okay. Now, see if you're ever doing this and you meet real resistance, stop, because it should have a measure of resistance, but it shouldn't require you to use the strength of Thor or Captain America. If that's what's happening, you've done something wrong and you need to change what you're doing. Either use one embossing pad rather than two. If it slips through really, really easily and makes no difference, then what we need to do is we need to maybe shut one of the plates over. So instead of using the one and two up, we would just put one up. Right, and there you go anyway. It has not cut. It wasn't planned on cutting. Sorry, that's got dirty. It has embossed that card. So effectively you've got a second use out of your dies, if you like. If you wanted to, if you were making a card or a tag and you wanted to make an embossed imprint in it, this is how you would do it. And in theory, with embossing mats like this, they're sort of flexible silicone, they tend to get quite staticky, and every now and again it's advisable to wash them just to freshen them up, because they end up with tons of fibrous content from paper. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bang that. They end up with tons of fibrous content from paper, and yeah, just they feel, ugh, you know what I mean? Like they could be doing with a wash. But again, I don't emboss like this very often, so I'll no bother with that right now. This is just for the purposes of showing you how to do it. So, excuse me. Anyway, that's it. That's how you emboss. Well, that's how you emboss a die. Now, it is also possible to emboss with an embossing folder. Now, give me just a second. I have here an embossing folder, and this one is actually quite thick, and it can sometimes pose a bit of a problem when it comes to embossing, but again I'll try and address that with you. If you have something, now I'm just going to use a wee tiny bit of card here to show you how to do this. So I've got a wee bit of card. Say you wanted to emboss or get the imprint of this on this wee bit of card. If you feel the inside, this is the raised bit and that's the bit that goes in. So you want to put that there, and when it's closed over, when you run it through, the bit that's got the raised edge will dig into that, so that your piece of card then has an imprint. Sorry, I don't know if I'm doing this great for you. Right, now the added problem is sometimes these pieces of paper can rip. There's no ifs or buts. Some embossing folders are quite deep, and as a result they tend to make things, the pressure on them's so great that it can tear the paper. You've just got to play about and find the ones that work for you. What you can do to make it marginally easier is give this a very light spritz of water. I've just got one of these wee It's a wee Stampin' Up one that my very nice friend Lisa Owen sent me. It's just filled with water, and it just needs a wee spray of water, and it breaks down the fibres of the card just sufficiently to hopefully prevent it from ripping as it goes through the embossing. So we've got our bottom plate down as usual. We've got our embossing folder with a wee bit of card and our very light spritz of water. We're putting our top acrylic pad on, and we're running it through. Now, this is quite tight, but having said that, hopefully not that tight that it didn't work. So let's see what we've got. There you go, that's your card. Now, picking it up, and on this occasion that has come out okay. It has not ripped. Sometimes bits that are done around the edge can, you know, struggle with the amount of pressure that's going on it, but that is how you emboss using an embossing folder and your Big Shot. Obviously beyond this you can do all sorts with it. You can run over that with a wee bit of ink very lightly and it will make it kind of illuminated and shiny. Likewise, if you if we go back to our wee butterfly that we embossed, if you run over that with some gilding wax or something, or even just distress ink, you can bring it up and just make it look, but you need to use a really light hand. And again, these are things that you learn as you do it. I mean, obviously if you batter in the first time you think, oh here, wait a minute, you know, all you see is brown because you've used vintage photo, you've maybe been a bit heavy handed. What effectively you should be doing is getting, wait a minute, I'll see if I can get it. I don't know if there's much ink on this, but if you very lightly go over it, you should get the raised edge more so than the bit behind it. There's a lot of ink in this, but in theory you would just be highlighting the bits that's raised. Right, that's it. Oh, I don't think there's anything else I can show you that is vital to when it comes to using this. It will only do so much. It won't cut through fabric easily. Sometimes you're lucky enough to get it through, but I wouldn't buy it thinking I was cutting cotton squares with it. You can get big sties, but I can cover them at another point because they're just a wee bit different. Excuse me. Oh, I need a drink of water. Right, that's it. I need to go and hoover my desk, and I'll get this video uploaded and you can let me know if it's of any use to you. If there's anything that you feel I haven't covered, let me know, and I can always try and do another video at some point, and or explain to you what it is you're looking for, assuming of course I know. I am not the oracle, I don't know everything. I'm a crafter just like everybody else that watches YouTube. The difference being is I'm not getting money for anybody selling you anything. I'm just telling you how I've found things to work when I've used them. So I think that's us. Let me think. Yep, I think I've covered everything. Anyway, hope this is useful to somebody. If you need any help, like I say, give me a shout and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Thanks very much for your time, and I'll see you. Oh, by the way, I hope you all had a nice Christmas and Merry New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year when it comes, which is like a couple of days, I think. Who cares? It's just another day, isn't it? It's just a day that the shops are shut. But the internet's still open, so we're okay. Yay! Right, anyway, thanks very much for your time. I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.